everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's 2022 Tournament Game 4, where we are playing Nazca. This is turn 104, and we actually have... Oh, well, things are already heating up, but we've got some pretty big news with this turn. Let's go ahead and kind of like jump into what is happening, and then probably in the once we get through the messages, then we'll talk about the big stuff that's going down. Odie, you gonna bother me? He's bothering me. Okay, so kicking things off for the turn, we have a couple of remotes. I say a couple of remotes. I think we only have the single remote. We have a disease demon, and it's a snipe to clear out this mound fiend or mound king. Boy, stop touching my stuff. Which is the only thing here. Let me just raise this. We're not blocking anything right now. Get it out of his way. So disease demon can make short work of a mound king most of the time because they have multiple attacks. Actually doing a pretty decent job. That was funny. So that guy kills us. And this is just a good commander snipe, right? That's the only commander that we had in that province, leaving a little stack of undead around, so we can expect that he's also going to hit it with something and kill those undead. Is what it is, no big deal, right? So, remotes for the turn, Disease Demon, 0 wins, 1 loss. Easy peasy. Nothing big. What else do we got? I'm tethered, and it feels really weird. My headset's dying, so I'm trying to do this at the same time. Unfortunate. Okay. We have no other reports or anything like that we really care about. Instead, we have a bunch of battles. So let's just jump into these quick as you like, see how they get. So this one is on... what's it called? Mighty Pillars, right? Like, this is our original fort. We really wanted to take this one. We sent in some reinforcements, including a little great otherness, right? To hopefully do some work. We've got some Supayas here. We've got some Malkui priests here. We got a bunch of long dead. What are we up against? Up against some corpse constructs. Don't matter. Up against some Einhairs. These guys can mulch undead, so they do matter. Up against a stack of vans. Okay, so that is a bit of a problem. What we also have is we have 2 liches, some shamans, and some that's a Vanadrot. Oof. So that's not great. And a van you're all over here kitted out with a firebrand. So probably not gonna go well for us. Our air elementals could do some work. Our Supayas could do some work. And if we get this great otherness out and about, that could also do some work. So let's see how this goes. First off, we give to flight ourselves. Cool. Give to flight, in theory, should be targeted on a freaking large HP pool. Which the Great Otherness obviously would have had the largest HP pool there. But the AI fucks us again. Get to flight does not hit the Great Otherness. So the Great Otherness is just going to have to kill out. We have a Ice Elemental, which is not as good as a Water Elemental. I mean, we can see, obviously, right, our long dead are going to get mulched immediately. Supayas drop in the back. They get baited by some corpse constructs. The Great Otherness goes in. And it runs into Einhairs, which are going to mulch it. It does basically nothing. And the entirety of this fight is a big meh for us. We didn't bring a lot of firepower there. We didn't expect that we were going to win a pitched battle. We lost 210 units. 183 of those units were long dead. So not really a huge loss. A little bit of a bummer for me personally on the Great Otherness, on us not getting it flying, not getting to see it trample the backfield. I thought that was going to be kind of fun, but no dice, unfortunately. We do lose 2 Malkui priests to that, which is not great, but also not the end of the world. We take out a Van Jarl and a Shaman with our Supayas, so not a horrendous trade, but not a great trade, obviously. But when you see 11 versus 210, normally you're like, oh, wow, that was a slaughter. But really, at the end of the day, versus on things that actually mattered for us to lose, 2 Malkui Priests, 19 Supayas, a Great Otherness, versus a Shaman, a Van Jarl, and that's pretty much it. Not really that disparate of a loss, but a loss nonetheless. We attack in Durshid. This is just against this is just a bunch of long dead against this fucking abomination over here. And a Lich, I believe. And this thing just gets mulched by the long dead, which is fun. We get attacked in a whole fucking host of places by Vanheim. Vanheim attacks in a mule with a little raiding party, little Windmaster, and some Einhairs. We are patrolling with a fair amount here. We've got a bunch of long dead. We've got a bunch of Hatenruna. So the Windmaster makes a air elemental, which promptly gets mulched. And then the Einhairs, which aren't buffed or anything like that, they get surrounded by Hatenruna. And the Hatenruna are deleted, but then Long Dead come in and slowly but surely start to chop down the Einhairs. That being said, those Einhairs did a lot of fucking work, considering there were 12 of them. But, you know, is what it is. That is a win for us. We are attacked in Fowenshire. This is after we lose our Mound King there. So we have no undead leadership, meaning that our undead all just begins to decay. And this is an easy pickup for Van. And then we get to see a bunch of battles from Ulm. So Ulm attacking Vanheim in Millgate. We got a bunch of little Blackplate infantry. Ooh, that's a lot of PD. Oh, Pillar of Fire deletes some people. But there is a Van Jarl back here as well. Another Pillar of Fire. Van Jarl in the back. Now going to delete. Yep. And that's that. That's a really unfortunate scenario. Insta kills the one Master Smith, then kills the second Master Smith. Again, right, like, have to be able to protect those Master Smiths from flying Van Jarls, otherwise gonna lose every single time. Ulm attacks in Trackless Wastes. Another set. Same process, I'm assuming. Air Elemental comes up. That does get destroyed immediately. We got some Earth Elementals coming out from these Master Smiths. We've got guards on them, which is great. That's exactly what we want. This other Van Jarl. Ooh, holy shit. Gifts from heaven. More Earth Elementals doing their thing. This might actually be a win for... Ooh, nope. Fucking... got Cloud of Death. This Lich came in and Cloud of Death the Master Smiths, it looks like. That's unfortunate. That was closer, though. But still, 3 Master Smiths lost for a Van Jarl. Yeah. Unfortunate. Van attacks in Mudwood. Mudwood is important to keep an eye on. Oh, this is, I don't think, gonna matter. This is gem baiting, though, I think. Oh, just instantly deleted with that Pillar of Fire. That's done. Oh, how'd they kill some? Probably trying to kill the air elemental. They'd hurt a lot of themselves. Air elemental comes down. Oh, it's the soul vortexes. Just taking people down, basically. Yeah. We've got an attack in Witch's Copse. A bigger set of Master Smiths. So 6 Master Smiths. Bunch of Van Jarls here. Some shamans, a lich. And these master smiths have no protection, and they are deleted. That's the breaks. Unfortunately, that's just not gonna work. Like, if you have any chance that a Van Jarl is gonna be flying into your back, you have to have a defense against them. So, unfortunate loss there. And then Van attacks Ulm in Star Peaks. Just a single Van Jarl here. Air Elemental in the back. Done and done. Easy peasy. That's textbook right there. Just textbook Van rating. So, we attack in Obulshan. This is just, there was a little force here. We're trying to knock it off. Little Van Jarl, a couple of Iron Hairs. We have a bit of Long Dead in the front. We have some Long Dead in the back. We have, this is our actual PD. And then we have a Mound King, but also a Hydromancer. Hydromancer's here to summon a Water Elemental, but it's going to be an Ice Elemental over here. So Air Elemental gets caught by the Long Dead and the Ice Elemental, and it drops. And is this guy flying? Mist form? We've moved forward. Yeah, flight. In the back. Oh, he jumps into the... Oh, we frozen heart him. He immediately runs. Fun. Cool. Alright, Obulshan, we killed 9 Hairs for 22 undead. That's a fine trade. We attack, or we get attacked in Silver World, another similar scenario. Van Jarl, some Hairs. We are gonna get got on this one though, because yep, Air Elemental stuffs our Hydromancer. Would it be? Okay. We lose in Silver World. We get attacked in Neefel. So we actually have a decently sized force patrolling here. This is right next to their throne. He comes in with some Einhairs, Shaman, a Van Jarl, and some Vine Ogres holding out. Air Elemental gets snagged. Hutton Runa in the back. The Sylphs doing some work there as well. Those Einhair are all just gonna die. Shaman gets got. Easy peasy. So a Shaman and 12 Einhairs and some Vine Ogres for 27 Hutton Runa. And 29 Nazca and Long Dead. That's a perfectly fine trade. We're happy with that. And then Vanheim against Ulm in Furia. Little Walther the Commander leading some Einhairs. Einhairs are pretty fucking solid, not gonna lie. Very possible they berserked. They run forward. They mulch some black plates. Where these crossbows are shooting, but the fact that they can't shoot 10 Einhairs as they're approaching. I personally think that ranged needs a big buff in this fucking game. Oh, wrong one. Furia. So like, yeah, 20 less than 12 Einhairs, because some of them were dead by the time they got done with the black plate, right? Less than 12 Einhairs are walking towards 20 crossbowmen, and 20 crossbowmen can't down well, they can't down the fucking Einhairs, I'll tell you this. Einhairs need to have Berserker nerf. That needs to be nerfed down to like a +3 or a +2, honestly. +3 would be just fine, because the fact that they have 21 protection when they Berserk is kind of absurd. Anyways, I think there were no big buffs, there were no shields, there was no reason why 20 crossbowmen couldn't have, because I don't think they took out, well, no, I guess technically they took out 5 of the, let's go back. Let's go back. That is the one that dies to the black plate. None of these die here. One dies there. Another one died there. I guess. It just feels bad. That doesn't feel like how I would imagine that to actually work. Anyways, whatever. A small thing. We also get attacked in Old Man Mountains. Old Man Mountains is actually our territory. We've got a group of ghouls. We've got some knights. We've got some marrows. This is just like a whole mercenary army, amusingly enough. And there's the High Magus here with a lifelong protection. So all that's here is just like a bunch of Hatenruna with a Huron priest. So no dice in that particular instance. So we lose a Pusquape. Our Huron priest actually gets out. Interesting. We killed 27 ghouls, 10 marrows, whatever. Is what it is. So a bunch of different fights. Nothing, I think, that is especially consequential, right? There weren't any massive battles here, but there were a couple of fun little fights, little interesting things. Battles for the turn versus Van, we had 3 wins and 4 losses, so pretty much a wash. And versus Indies, we had 1 win and 0 losses. So that's pretty fun. We have some events for the turn. We have, in Naranthian, we have a rebirth event. In Naranthian again, there is a shipwreck at the coast. A cargo of the broken vessel has been salvaged and some survivors forced into service. Oof. We get some gold and we get an Azure Mage. Not super exciting at this point in the game for us because we have Hydromancers and we've had them for a very long time, so kind of whatever. At Underhome, a local mage has been lynched after allegations of turning a peasant into a lobster. What the fuck? So we get some nature and astral pearls out of that. And then in Ermithia, new trade routes have opened, so we get some increased province income. So, events for the turn, we get 0 negative and 4 positive. Naranthian population plus 300 and income plus 1. Ermithia income plus 20. Gold plus 435. Astral pearls plus 3. Nature gems plus 4. And we get an Azure Mage. So, nice turn. Nothing super crazy, but a nice turn. Happy. And then we know that we get a new Malquay because of mummification. We got a lot of movements here. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on out of the game. So we've been talking quite a bit the last couple turns about what is going on in the game and kind of like the differing, the status of the triumvirate versus Van and attacking and when we're attacking and how things are going to be attacking. And we made a move against Van and we saw the, kind of results. And now we're gearing up with this concept of, well, we're going to, fuck it, we're just going to hit a bunch of thrones at the same time. We're all expecting to lose. Let's just hit a bunch of thrones at the same time and see if that works, right? See if that does anything. At the very least, we will go out with a bang and, in some random off chance, maybe Van can't accomplish the task, and we're able to sneak a win. Unlikely, but who knows, right? So that hasn't changed, but it has been somewhat reinforced because at this point, there are only 3 games going in the tournament left. And I can't remember all which ones they are. I think it's game 1, I think it's game 4, so us, and then I think it's game 13. Somebody can correct me, because I'm probably wrong there, but I think those are the 3 games at this point that are still going, out of like 16 games or something like that. So, a bunch of people. And that's okay, but a lot of those 3 games are also in very varying stages of stagnation. So ours has heated up recently, but it had been stagnant here or there throughout a couple of different periods. And obviously other games are going through the similar types of scenario. That's not to say that people aren't doing anything or making any motions or anything like that, but there's been deadlocks in various different games, and now we're down to 3 games left. So the decision has been made that we don't want these games to drag out for too terribly much longer, because this is the 2022 tournament and it's now 2023. So they want to try to get the tournament finals up and running sooner rather than later, which I'm all for. It sounds great, right? Fully understand the decision-making process in this, and yeah. So what has been decided is that each of the remaining players in the various different games are going to vote for a certain number of turns remaining in their game. And I don't remember the particulars. I think it was like 5, 10, 20 or something like that, right? Of how many turns could be left in the game. And then everyone's answer, I don't think it was 5. I think it was 10, 20, 30. And then everyone's answers are tallied together, and you know what? Fuck. Why don't I just go check this one? Let me check. It was... Oh, okay. I remember what it was. It's not that. They picked a turn for each of the different games. So I can't remember which ones ours was. I think ours were because we're already on turn 104. I think ours was 110, 120, or 130, right? And so they took the average, basically. And if I'm remembering correctly, ours ended up being that they basically set the final turn as like 120 or 122 or something like that, right? Whoever has the most thrones at that point in the game wins the game. So, interesting little scenario, but I actually have the most thrones in the game right now. Meaning that in theory, if we can just hold the current thrones that we have and prevent Vanheim, or in theory anyone else, from getting more thrones, we could win the game via that scenario. And of all the things that we can do, we can generate a shit ton of random chaff and keep ourselves under siege for a long time. We're not gonna do that for 2 reasons. One, I don't think... No, I would say 2 reasons. There's a bunch of reasons, but there's a couple main reasons. The first main reason is even if I could potentially get a win like that, I don't necessarily want to get a win like that. And I don't necessarily think I would deserve to go to the finals in that manner, right? I think it's pretty clear at this point now that the Vanheim player has won the game. It's just a matter of how long it takes them to finish out winning the game. So that's one reasoning for me not really wanting to do that. The second reasoning is that is exactly what I don't want to do, because I want the game to finish with a bang, and I guess technically it probably still would finish with a bang, but it would finish with a very different bang. It would finish with a bang where Vanheim is throwing everything that they can, probably not at me, right, but at our allies, or at the remaining Arco, or not even Arco anymore, the remaining indie thrones, right? We have the Throne of Misfortune, the Silver Throne, and the Golden Throne all open now. So that ends up being a scenario where I don't think that, one, I don't think it's plausible for us to just sit back on our laurels. And two, I don't think it would be fun. And three, even if we did it, I don't think that would be a satisfying conclusion. So we're going to just do what we were planning to do anyways, and that's throw everything that we can, the fucking kitchen sink, at Van, and hope that we sneak a win. With the assumption that we're not going to, and that Van is going to rebuff us, take the win, and continue, which is great. The kind of like final nail in the coffin scenario is again, we're doing okay. I say, actually, we're not doing okay. Our Dominion is getting pushed further and further, and I've had reports, again, from other people that the same type of scenario is happening. Van is absolutely going to dom kill us before it's turn 104. We could put everything that we have into resisting Van's Dominion at this point. Van will kill us before turn 115, would be my assumption, right? All around our border, our candles are dropping. We'll lose our capital probably next turn, candle-wise, right? We do have places that have a lot of candles, but that's because they are being lucky and not the ones that are getting bombarded. So all of that just goes to say, okay, cool, that's an interesting little development. It's really potentially going to impact the other two games. I don't think it really changes what we were going to do. We are still going to move forward with the concept that we are throwing everything we can at Van in order to try to do it. However, I will say this. I think all of the developments that have happened, including the looming threat of a Dom win, is pushing up our cycle. To the point to where we're moving as much as we can into place this turn, and we're attacking with everything next turn. So this is turn 104. On turn 105, we will be issuing move orders on Satala, on Cern, probably on Viserion Arches, right? Because Pelagia's on Mudwood right now. So we are probably going to hit those three locations, Viserion Arches, Cern, and Satala, and we're going to cross our fingers and hope that that is a victory, right? We only need 2 out of the 3 thrones that we'll be attacking to win. I don't expect us to get it, but we'll see how it goes, you know? So what are we actually doing this turn? What does it matter? Couple of different things. Specifically, we're moving a lot of people into range to do the things that we're trying to do next turn. We're moving a lot of people into Nephil. We're moving some people over into Satrandith. And we're actually moving a couple of people into the Forgotten Woods so that we can... And we're teleporting people over to Mike Marsh so that we can more appropriately target Viserion Arches. Because it's a little... Viserion Arches is a little out of the way. Honestly, Mudwood is a better target for us. But we're not going to attack our potential ally. So right now, we're just going to aim for Viserion Arches. But it's going to have to be things like Stygian Paths and Astral Travel and Cloud Trapeze and shit like that. So it's going to be a little difficult to get as much stuff there as we can. We are going to be probably using someone over here, right? To do something like an Astral Travel or a Stygian Paths. Up to Viserion Arches with a lot of these units, okay? And then we're probably going to be using our god to try to move as much as we can out of Forgotten Woods, because Forgotten Woods still has a lot of Supayas and a fair little stack of Huacas and stuff like that. So yeah, we've got a lot of moving parts and pieces. That's the generalized plan. This particular turn, there's not a lot that's happening. We are sending a little Hatan Runa stack over to Equestria, just fucking cuz, why not? We are attacking back in Old Man Mountains again, just because why not? We're sending in a little stack here. Nothing super big, but it is in range to threaten CERN anyways, so it's not going to hurt us to go there. So yeah, that's kind of it. Really, at the end of the day, we're gonna throw everything that we can over the course of the next few turns into attacking these thrones, and we'll see how it goes from there. So, let's go through the mechanics of things real quick. We've got a couple of different things to report. We've got recruitment for the turn, 1 Lizard Shaman, 3 Huron Priests, 1 Royal Malqui, 1 Hydromancer, and 4 Sun Guard. So, pretty tame turn. Again, just trying to get things that I think might matter. The Hydromancer and the Lizard Shaman I probably could have dropped, but it is what it is. Just spending some money. Nazcan recruits for the turn. We had 1 Malqui mummified this turn. We had 59 Hatan Runa. Continuing to stack Hatan Runa over in this area. 476 Long Dead Warriors. We had a dip from last turn because moving parts and pieces and things like that. 37 recalled Supayas, again another slight dip. And 1 summoned Huaca. No actual summon Supayas this turn because we're using all our damn death gems for other things. So, yeah. We still have a couple special recruits throughout our empire. We've got our 1 Direwolf, 1 Dustwalker, 3 Sylphs, 3 Earth Gnomes, and 3 Sprites. So those are all going to start coming into play, actually. And then we've got a couple of rituals for the turn. So 4 Teleports, 1 Curse of Blood, 1 Cloud Trapeze, and 1 Dome of Air. That is all getting things into position. Mostly Royal Malquis, trying to get them into positions because we're probably going to toss several Royal Malquis at Viserion Arches. We're going to have a stack of Long Dead, Supayas, Huacas, and then we can't send a shit ton of people across these spaces. So we're going to have to Cloud Trapeze or teleport in the other various individuals. That means mostly Royal Malquis with some Koyas and maybe an Inca or 2 here or there. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways. That means... sorry. Before we jump into Ultimate Gateway... Well, I say that. Let's do Ultimate Gateway real quick. Ultimate Gateway for the turn is only 6 Astral saved. Nothing else, because we didn't have anything else going on in Forgotten Woods this turn. But we do have some other things to report on, and that is 2 empowerments. 1 Royal Malqui empowered in death, and another Royal Malqui empowered in death. So, we have over here this guy empowered in death, and over here this guy empowering in death. Why are we doing that? We are doing that for, very specifically, Wind of Death. So, what we want to do next turn is there is a small force here on Viserion Arches, and then there's also the chances, right, that there's forces in Satala or CERN. There's also the chance that we see other van armies develop this turn or into next turn, right? Like a van army appears, I don't know, where the fuck ever, right? Wind of Death is actually still a relatively effective tool coming from a Royal Malqui. So, but they can't do it without some boosting or without some gear or some help. We don't really have the ability to do gear right now. We could throw a copper arm on someone and then give them a skull staff. That could do it. They can't wear freaking skull faces or anything like that. So we're just taking this opportunity this turn to be like, fuck it, let's empower 2 of these Royal Malquis so that we have 2 Wind of Death casters next turn. That could be a gambit that helps us out. Don't know that it's going to make much of a difference, but we'll see. Fingers crossed, right? So yeah, anyways, we got that going on. And then we have some forging. 1 Demon Bane, 1 Water Lens, 2 Boots of the Messenger, 2 Endless Bags of Wine, 1 Starshine Skullcap, 1 Crucible of Stone, 1 Arcane Lens, and 1 Crystal Coin. Almost all of these are being done for the purpose of we either need to get a person to a place or we need to boost a person to be able to accomplish a thing. In the case of the Demon Bane, it's just like, whatever, we can do another Demon Bane, let's do another Demon Bane. And the Endless Bags of Wine, we just need supplies here or there, so trying to continue to make sure that. All of the other stuff, Boots of the Messenger, getting people to a place, right? Starshine Skullcap, Crucible of Stone, Arcane Lens, Crystal Coin, either boosting or temp genning or something like that, right? So none of those are big, interesting changes or strain changes. Before we kind of end, I do want to kind of like isolate what are we going to be able to throw at these various locations. So we are sending quite a few people into Nephil and a few into Amul. Amul is going to be definitely the weakest of these scenarios. It has plenty of forces to crack something like Satala, but it does have the smallest mage core there. Nephil has a significantly larger mage core. A couple of shamans are going to be able to be there. We might end up trying to pull things from down in Might Marsh or Baral or shenanigans like that, just to see what we can throw together here or there. And then over in Viserion Arches, this is going to be probably actually one of the bigger things that we throw together. It's not going to have a massive mage core, but it is, we're going to, again, Stygian Paths, Astral Travel, throw in multiple Royal Malquis, that whole shebang, and hopefully things will go well there. We'll see. So yeah, I'm kind of hopeful that Viserion Arches might end up being a gimme, but we saw how Van reacted in Mon Herboa. It's entirely possible that Van will just nuke whatever we send to Viserion Arches from orbit. The hope is that what we send there can be resilient enough to be like, okay, well, yeah, sure, but we still cracked it in a single turn, and you've got to come here with something. And then the hope is that Van just might not have enough over here to deal with it. But, yeah, we'll see. It's also in CERN and Satala. We know that Van has domes there. The hope is that Van's not packing a bunch of, I don't, obviously, why wouldn't Van be doing this? But, like, maybe Van doesn't have everything that he needs sitting in Satala and CERN to deal with these armies, because if he doesn't, right, then his domes can actually be a double-edged sword at that point and cause him an inability to do what he needs to do to our armies, right? So cuts out Murdering Winter, cuts out Flames from the Sky, cuts out Cloud trapezing in, you know, those types of things. And he's kind of stuck with just what he has. But if what he has there is enough, or he has the, you know, the fire and the water there to do Murdering Winter and Flames to the Sky, he can do that inside the dome. But yeah, it's we're kind of in a scenario of like, what else are we gonna do, right? So we got to pull the trigger on something. We're basically just, this is what we would say at this point is it's Van's game to lose, right? It's not our game to win. It's Van's game to lose. We have been outplayed throughout the game. We're somewhat of a threat. Like, Van's gonna have to do something, right? It's a situation where it's Van will win this unless Van messes up. Not, we can win this by doing the right thing. You know, if that makes sense. Or at least that's my interpretation of the situation. That might be incorrect, but yeah. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. We've got a lot of things set in motion. Next turn, we're gonna go more specifically over a lot of the declared orders, right? We are moving people from the different portions of our empire more towards these fronts, but I don't know how much we're going to be able to get into the right positions in a short enough amount of time, basically. So we'll see how things go. I wish we had more fire gems, because I'd be sending a shit ton of Aklas to the front. We might still do that anyways. But yeah, I'm excited to see how things go. I do think they're going to go out with a bang. I don't think it's going to be a positive bang for us, but at the end of the day, yeah, it is what it is. You can't win them all. As long as you're having fun, and, you know, doing some fun stuff here or there, some cool stuff here or there, which I think we've done plenty of in this game, then it's worth it, right? So, that's going to be the end of this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.